So, hello everyone and welcome back. It's good to see you here on this very vampire morning. So, last episode, we have been setting up going to visit the Anarchs, and this is where we are now. We met Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I'm sure we'll meet again. Anyway, let's see where we end up. You arrive at the Leech Pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the scene is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You know the face behind the bar. The woman doesn't seem to recognize you, though. You imagine you were just another patron in a sea of strangers the other night. I can't remember what voice I gave her, so what can I get you? She's me. This is me in this world. I was told to ask you about Mia. Yeah? Well, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down, and a spark of recollection shines in her eye. Yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of young adult vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, sleeve tattoo on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's someone's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty at his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. Get him drunk and talkative. The man immediately notices you, but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. I mean, his name's Bruce. I should try and do an Australian accent, but I can't do Australian accents. Can I do New Zealand? Probably not. Hey, do I know you? You look familiar. Oh yeah, think I saw you here before, right? Yeah, I've been to the concert the other night. Oh yeah, that's right. And you went behind the bar with that hot chick. Would I do for some time alone with her? Heh. Anyway, anything I could help you with? Or are you just looking for somebody to chat? Really hope Doc's not watching. How about a drink? Sure, give me a Lemmy, you know, whiskey and coke. A short while later, you return with the drink. The guy has been eyeing you this whole time. He takes the glass and takes a big gulp. Ah, yeah, that hits the spot. It takes a second drink to really loosen him up, and a third to make him somewhat more chatty. You learn the story of his tattoo. He tells you about his gym routine, an actual play series he's been binge watching on YouTube. It's probably Charlie Foxtrot. And where his favourite spot to fuck girls at is. Oh, cool. At no point does he let slip anything that would point to him being somebody's ghoul, though. In fact, you're beginning to suspect he's not nearly as drunk as he acts. Well, that was nice, but I gotta go. Thanks for the drinks. Hey, wait a minute. You haven't had anything to drink you haven't had anything to drink all that time? Okay, cut the bullshit. I know who you are. I'd like the name of your master, now. Any suggestion of him being drunk is immediately gone. I have no idea what you're talking about. He smiles, seemingly confused. Hey, it's cool. I'm new in town. I just want to meet others like us. I need your master's name to contact them. He doesn't buy it. You thought you have him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's bolting all right. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and give chase after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. He dashes into a nearby alley and you follow suit. Before he can jump a fence, you tackle him to the ground. A short brawl later, you're standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. Listen, your cover's blown. I was told who you are. You better come clean. Your master's name, that's all I need. Bullshit. Besides, she'd kill me if I told you. And I quite like being alive. Here's the deal. You tell me your master's name and you save yourself a word of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley in a stretcher, you'd better. Whack. Bruce doesn't wait for you to finish talking. He jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. It takes you by surprise and he puts you on the defensive. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence at the end of the alley, and is gone into paths unknown. Time to leave, something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and turn Mia's note to the other side. Bruce mentioned a she, so his master must be female, but that's all you've got to go on. You figure it's better to leave anything for Mia than nothing at all, though. We'll leave a note of the gender. Bruce referred to his master as she. This perfectly fits the character. Hold on a second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. Oh right, and this. An old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think about everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find the phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no messages left. It's got a version of Snake though. The bartender is already over at the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anarch contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guesses, based on the scraps of info you collected, will be enough to have Mia call you. I guess... Oh no! Next day. Okay. A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. Of you mailbox. I mailbox. It's a printout from a computer, a note, and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 PM. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. The place marked on the map is Lookout Point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. You go downstairs as early as you wake. One final check of the phone, but no news from Mia. Wait, why would we go? Why? I was like, okay, if we get the option, we're not going because that's what the phone is for. Why would you go? Okay, apparently we don't have a choice. Thanks. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out to Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. "It's true, but I do not think it's true. If I do not think it true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then..." Hey, I'm meeting someone here tonight. I don't suppose that would be you? The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. "Well, yes, it's me. We are meeting now. You are meeting me. I am meeting you. Such a joyous occasion." You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. "So, you got the message." "I did. What now?" Now you come with us. The boss wants to meet ya." "Callahan, That's Boss Callahan to you, fuckface. I just had to assume it was fucking Callahan, because it wasn't, it wasn't, Talk, and it wasn't, and it wasn't the Nosferatu, I forget his name off the top of my head. I just saw it there, but I forgot it already. I suggest you get a move on. We got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness. The litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or, we can do it the odd way. We could try in celerity. I feel like it won't work. But fuck it. Coming here was a mistake. It's time to blow this joint. Your muscles tense in preparation for a sprint that will take you away from this place and back inside your car. An angelic voice fills your head. It's the woman. She's captivating. You can see it now. You can't take your eyes off her. You don't want to leave her. You need to see her features clearer. Closer. A stake slams into your chest. The man who talked to you appears before your face, smiling a crooked smile. Funny thing, I thought he was making a run for it. Whatever, load him on the boat, boys. You are barely conscious. It's impossible to tell where they're taking you or how long it takes. A sucking sound and the clear sensation of having a cavity in your chest that wasn't there before. A deep voice breaking through the oblivion you're returning from. Vincent, my boy, you truly are a nuisance sometimes, but you get the job done. That's why I respect you. Thank you, boss. Sight comes back to you. The owner of the deep voice is a curious sight. Dressed in what can only be described as Victorian clothing, with a monocle and greying red hair. Is this Callahan? There we go, coming to, are we? Heard you're a spirited one, eh? Vincent, is this fledgling spirited, would you say? Yeah, boss, sure, spirit. I believe you already know who I am. Hey, Bo! You're Boss Callahan, because he told me that's what to call... And I don't want to get punched. You're Boss Callahan. Right, you are. And I'm guessing you know my role in this city. I represent the Anarch movement, while you... I'm not quite sure what you represent. I have invited you here to find out. Now let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you. Truly disappointed. The police are already after me, God! But I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was. So, do you know why you're here? Because I wanted to meet with Talk? Ah, yes, you're not stupid. That's a nice change of pace. Talk is the reason you're here. Or that angry little strumpet of his, I'm told, yes? Mia. Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and it's not a prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is to tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. You folk call yourself Afro-American, correct? Bah! Back in the day, we knew what being an American meant. And it sure as hell didn't mean being black. Oh, casual... not even casual, just like straight up racism fun. Why is that, Finished with your rant? Oh, fledgling, you do not know who you're messing with. He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions. First of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Nobody. It was my idea. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? I wanted to contact Talk. I had to go through Mia. Ah, yes. The so-called veteran loves to use petite girls to hide behind, I heard. This would check out. What did you end up discussing? She wanted me to do her a favor. To grill a guy named Bruce about his master's name. Oh, is that so? Vincent, do we know this Bruce? I don't know no Bruce, boss. Why am I not surprised, Vincent? I'll investigate this myself, later. See, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out, I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks, and maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. He gives Vince a sign, and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated and nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. That very much highlights, like, he wouldn't say them. He'd say him or her, depending on male or female. That kind of highlights the need for them to be a bit vague sometimes. He snaps his fingers in front of your face, because one of the characters is female and two are male. I don't know, it's just, you know, yeah. He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times. Checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. I am a man of principles. Another night I would perhaps put you in a casket and dip it in concrete, then dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the Roaring Twenties. Ah, it's been a while. But like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interests of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet with Talk. I will keep an eye on you, on him. If you want a place with the Anarchs, you go through me, and only me. Got it? You have to understand, what I made my associate do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure meeting your acquaintance. Oh, he went all Welsh there. Pleasure meeting your acquaintance. Oh boy. Callahan walks away, and so does Vince, and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling, for sustenance, for safety. For revenge, a distant but pronounced third right now. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear as a victim of a mugging more so than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a taxi passing by and head back to your haven. The whole way there you are tempted by your beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. You keep declining, all the while thinking that if only you asked him to pull over for 5 minutes, you could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content. Drink him whole. Nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids, if he has them. Nobody but his boss and company friends. Nobody but you, as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay was never before as difficult as it is tonight. The driver stops you at your apartment building. There is nobody around. You can do it. Do it now.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Come on and do it. Eat him.
Give in. This character is passionate. He goes by his passions. And one of his passions is drinking people. Oh, sorry, I didn't read that. You think he tastes great as a tired, caffeine-pumped taxi driver with high cholesterol can taste. Warm blood pours down your throat and flows to your limbs, mending them. He is growing cold, but you still do not have control. You are still observing, not acting. Your body is not yours. The beast is in charge. That's enough. No, it's not. I said that's enough. It will never be enough. Enough! You break away from the man. He's dazed but conscious. He groggily says something about feeling tired. You leave the money on the driver's seat and let him rest in the back. Taxis have cameras, you know. Everywhere has cameras, dude. All of these options I've had, none of them have been good. I've definitely been seen by cameras, you know, phones, everything. It's all gone terribly. I've been expecting the Second Inquisition to have me for like 3 or 4 in-game days, and they just haven't yet. The familiar four walls of your haven are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you have reined it in tonight. Not a small feat, given your state. You are still weak, you're still not quite mended, you need to rest. Tomorrow, you will have to feed again. Tomorrow, you will have to consider your next move. Callahan is not not kind of man who quits, but tonight, you rest. Oh, okay, guess that's what I've got. Waking up tonight feels different for 2 reasons. For one, you're presently surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. It comes with a caveat though. The hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast, like a black dog on the edge of your vision, following you. But the thing that is really remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. You pick up.
Kept that old
Oh god, okay.
Come on, kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You alright?
I feel like shit.
Look, that's too bad. But I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Talk agreed to meet with you. There's a pub in the Bronx, solid in stripes. Be there tonight. 2 things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the bar. And the meeting is exclusively no powers. We'll be rubbing shoulders with the commoners the whole evening. And also, we don't trust you, so keep it casual or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add?
Anything you'd like to add? Oh my god! Who is this new person who's come out? If we're to meet, I need you to offer me protection from Callahan. I met him yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbid me from meeting talk. Silence on the line.
Fuck! I can't promise you any protection on your way there, or the way back, but at the pub you'll be in Talk's domain. For all his posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Talk directly. We'll post an additional hang-arounds to look out. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too.
Oh, buddy.
All I've got to say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I can't blame you. But it's a one-time only offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight. It better be good faith.
She ends the call. First things first, you take the subway to the York Street station. Walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. Ooh, we should feed. Okay. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kind of blood you crave. You are so caught up in yesterday's problem, and in this cloak and dagger debacle, you're a part of it now, that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them, and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and what they were dressed like. It only hits you once you look at yourself in the eye in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down this spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, you clouded it further, and you are no closer to a decision. Dangerous or not, you have to make the trip to the Bronx and meet with Talk. No detours, just best to get it over with. You take some basic precautions as you enter Talk's turf. You park a few streets across from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. That laughing guy sounds particularly sheepy in the eternal mistake of choosing accents. There you go. That kindred for the most part look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final look around, there's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant mist hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tells you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around.
You took a too sweet time getting here. What, got cold feet? Ha ha ha. Never mind. Anybody follow you up?
Not that I know of.
Fair enough. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You didn't prove very helpful at the bar. Carol, the bartender, mentioned you made an effort, but you can imagine there's plenty of licks who use feminine pronouns in this city. Still, I'll take whatever I can get, so thanks for that, I guess. Come on, Talk's right here.
You walk towards one of the tables, hoping that Mia's done talking so you don't have to do this silly accent anymore. A guy in a coat and hat leans over to take his shot. The table is clean of his balls. Gross. He's way ahead of the opponent, but the 8-ball is in a tricky position.
Hey, they're here.
Be with you in just a moment. The hit is fast, precise, and it sends the black ball exactly where the player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You paying up now, or you want to up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor goes the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man's good-looking, if somewhat gaunt and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core. But not in an unpleasant way. Name's Talk, I believe you're Daedalis. Sophie Langley's new plaything, is that right? That's right. Yeah, Mia told me as much. Forgive me my being real with you right off the bat, but I'd like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're in with Langley, and Langley's cam through and through, I'm told, what is it you come to accomplish here tonight? Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting.
The fuck? I knew nothing about this tea. They lied to me. No.
Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well, ain't that an interesting proposition?
You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline cam. It's a trap. It must be. Look out, it's a trap.
It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens in the back of the room.
Hey, Talk, you got a guest. They're in the back.
Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is.
Sure thing.
Talk tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she's in half a mind to chuck it at your face.
You gotta be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here.
Hey, whatever works. I got the message across. That's what matters.
Achieving your goal no matter the costs, even if you have to lie and snake your way into people's good graces. Fucking hell, the cam's got you good, fledgling. Here I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now.
Talk appears from a door in the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Daedalis, get over here too. You go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there's 5 other people in there with you. Talk is ushering you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears.
Motherfuckers, you gotta pay for this year. You hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so bad you have no idea.
Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Ceruti before, Daedalis? You could say that.
You're fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it, you stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened.
That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf,
Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, Talk?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince?
Now the boss could wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours gone. You're done, Talk.
Well now, if that's the case, I guess ridding New York City of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, here's an idea. Vince mentioned he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Daedalus? You want to repay the favour? Gladly. Go right ahead. You hit Vince. Apparently still talking here, but he's not. This is just, again, a mistake. You hit Vince. Once. Twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him. And again. More. Until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him and you kick him some more as he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice. Enough's enough, Daedalus. He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Stake him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favourite puppy. Mia takes the sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him outside of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shed more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Daedalus? It was a Second Inquisition effort here in New York City. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here or there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us though, we got hit hard all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone, just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely. Others, like my child Barb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. We thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B manages to excuse himself from the museum on Staten Island where we used to meet, just before vans full of guys in body armour show up, eh? How is it that as my baby is burning after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Doug Callahan running with his tails between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the Second Inquisition? We think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in this city's lick population. The moral of the story, Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker, and even if his thickest followers suggest he's gonna sell me out, then that's what he's gonna do, sure as sun rises. He pauses for a moment and you see him reaching a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault, in part, that I'm at this juncture, but now's gonna be good as a time as any to listen to what she has to say.
I don't think that's wise tea.
Well, what would you have me do then?
You said it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this on us. So let's use this as a bargaining chip. Them. Callahan wants them. Langley needs them. They're valuable.
Nah, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable. The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks or so hits you hard. But if there was a moment for being honest with yourself, it's now.
Fuck.
The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit. We're afraid, Daedalus. But then, what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to the dawn. A duality to everything. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will.
Count on it.
He smiles, then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up personally and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting, the 2 of you, the 2 of us, nobody else. And third, the meeting is public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that though. You seem likeable enough. The cam hasn't got its talons in you yet. Keep it up and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. I might. If there even is an Anarch movement in this city after Camarilla gets us. I mean, that's not what I wanted to say, but okay. Don't you worry none. The cam only seems like a stable monolith. Just wait until they get bored of Panhard's rule. Let me tell you, nothing quite as frantic and amusing as well-dressed rats scurrying over one another to call themselves the Prince of the Pole, if even for a moment. Best be on your way. Oh, that's him talking. Best, I get the feel, the way he's written, he does actually sound English. Best be on your way is a very English phrase to me, at least. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to reach me. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Mia walks you to the front door and accompanies you to your car.
Listen, about what I said before.
Yeah, what about it?
I panicked, that's all that was. It was unfair what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself. And that makes me angry with you. Forget it. See ya.
She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what you're bringing with you. Daedalus, good evening. How is your task going? Have you something for me, perhaps? I did what you asked. The meeting is set up. I suggest we take advantage quickly of it, though. There's going to be trouble. Trouble? What trouble? During the meeting with Talk, the same guy who beat me yesterday, Vince, showed up. He's Callahan's goon. We have to assume that he knows I met Talk. Well, that just means we have to bring the plan to a close. And thanks to your good timing, we're just a day away from it. Well, let's hear it. What did Talk agree to? You relate the Anarch leader's conditions, that you are to pick him and Mia up, that the meeting should only include the 4 of you, and should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? I met some Anarchs in the past few nights, and she was one of the more agreeable ones. She's fine, I guess. Are you sleeping with Sophie? I don't think so. I'd probably know if I was. I see. Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in the Hudson Yards. The vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... She seems to have made up her mind. Yes, bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. Do you think Talk and Mia will agree to a meeting in the city? It's Camarilla territory. Will they be too careful to come here? They did ask me to pick the spot, did they not? It's public and in the open. They should love it. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes. Within reason. I'm counting on you, Daedalus. The final piece of the puzzle is about to find its way to its destination. And after that, we all get our just rewards. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. A figure of speech, darling. Or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I am growing fond of you, and success whets my appetite for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in the room becomes insufferable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks? Or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore. Or did you just imagine it? Use the rest of this night well, Daedalis, and rest. We are but a day sleep away from shaking this city awake. I guess we should go do the Agathon. Yeah, we should do the Agathon because we've got I get the feeling that tomorrow is going to be taken up with the meeting and all that kind of shit, so we won't get a chance. And at some point, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, so yeah. You're in your haven when someone knocks on your front door. Puzzled, you open. Agathon stands in the hallway expectantly, as if the 10 seconds it took for you to come to the door was an impossible imposition. Let me guess, you're going out to hunt for the research notes. You need my help. Yes, exactly. Let's go there. You follow Agathon down to the street, wondering what kind of revelations tonight will hold. So far, Agathon's rituals haven't been successful at locating the research notes, but you've learned a lot about the Tremere and Agathon himself. This time I've got it. The problem when an old vampire disappears, even from our clan, is that we're so secretive. It's hard for us to find out what they're up to, Blair. Agathon's car is parked on the curb. You get in, and Agathon starts to drive. You may have guessed the notes we're looking for belong to an old member of our house. I mean, I just told you, so Blair. The problem is that we need them to continue the research, Blair. The notes were left by someone in your clan who's now missing, right? Yes, her name would mean much to you, but it's Invidia Cole, Blair. For us, the only thing that matters is that she's not here anymore, and we're left to pick up the pieces, Blair. You're getting used to sitting in Agathon's car in silence. He drives, you look out the window. Back to Queens. Eventually, you roll into an industrial area called Willett's Point. It doesn't really look like a place where a blood sorcerer would hang around. Agathon parks in front of a car repair shop that looks like it has seen better days. There are huge puddles of water on the road and car wrecks strewn about. Better be quick if I can find this place, and so could you, Blur. You look around to see if someone is observing you, but there doesn't seem to be any people about. And why would there? Who would hang around at a place like this at night? Agathon tries the front door of the repair shop, then circles around to the back. You follow him. There's a broken window in the back protected by iron bars. Agathon grabs them and gives them a quick shake. The entire iron grille comes off. Startled, Agathon lowers it to the ground. I suppose someone else has broken here already and didn't want to leave any obvious point of entry, Blair. You and Agathon climb inside through the window. It's awkward, but not difficult. Looking around, you realise that the repair shop has been abandoned for some time. It looks like homeless people have stayed here, but nobody's sleeping on the premises right now. You try a light switch, but nothing happens. You know the drill. I do the ritual in the office, make sure there are no interruptions, Blair. Agathon makes his way to the repair shop's office, a slightly cleaner area than the rest of the building. He begins the ritual in the dark. You lean on the grimy wall. Agathon murmurs the strange words required by his blood magic. Wait a second. Okay. And takes carefully measured steps across the filthy floor. You wait patiently as he performs the ritual. It feels like it's taking longer than usual, and you have time to scan the room. Streetlights filter from the outside, but it's still pretty dark. A ratty sleeping bag lies on the floor. Wonder what a warlock might have wanted in a place like this. There's a small TV on the desk, probably from the 90s. Looking closer, you realise there's a post-it note in the middle of the TV screen. You take it. It reads, "Loser, Juno." Agathon stops gesturing. "It's not here. How is that possible?" You show him the post-it note. Blair. He takes it and looks it over, as if suspecting it might hide a devious trick. "Fuck, she has the notes, and she had to gloat, Blair. We have to go." It feels like you spent a lot of time recently hurrying after Agathon as he walks briskly in and out of buildings to his car. He starts the car as you close the door. "We have to go to our home to get the notes. There's no time to waste, Blair. Maybe we could stop for a drink. I'm kind of thirsty." Despite the urgency in his words, Agathon heads to the pub, drives carefully as ever. It seems only a threat to his grandmother is enough to make him drive recklessly. What do we do with her? Is she an enemy? Let's not be hasty. I'm sure we could talk this through, Blair. Agathon doesn't sound too convinced. Juno's Haven is in Brooklyn. There's a waterfront warehouse. Try to say that 5 times fast, Blair. Agathon drives south to Brooklyn. This is one of the advantages of being undead. Moving at night, traffic is much easier than if you wanted to zoom around the 5 boroughs during rush hour. Parking the car, Agathon points to a light coming from an otherwise dark yellow brick warehouse. "That's her, let's go in, Blair." Ruh-roh, that can't be good. Preferring to keep a low profile for now, you circle around the building and look for an alternative entry point. You find a rusty metal door with no window in it on the very end of the building. Some kind of emergency exit? You get it open with little difficulty, entering the building with Agathon. You emerge in a light-proofed room, sectioned off on one side with a cheap plywood wall. There's a flimsy-looking door that probably leads to the main warehouse area. You stop to listen. You hear 2 voices. One is clear, and you recognise it belongs to Juno. The last you heard her, she was shouting in a nightclub, but the voice is the same. The other voice sounds like it's coming from underwater. It has strange echoes and resonances you can't figure out. "I have to note, there's nothing holding me here, Blair." "Very good, Juno. You'll be much happier once you've shed the shackles of the pyramid." What's the pyramid? Traditional hierarchy of blood bonds reaching from the top to the bottom of the pyramid used to define the Tremere, but after the fall of Vienna, their blood has recoiled and aborted all such connections. As such, it can no longer blood bond other kindred. Without the rigid structure ordering their clan into rank and value, some warlocks find themselves competing for anything that might allow them to gain okay. Pyramids. Yes, I think so. I wanted to ask Carter, is it possible for me to bring another? Another of ours trapped in the hierarchy, Blair. I'm assuming he's a Tremere at this point. Yes, use your judgment, Blair. We are too powerful for them to attack just now, Blair. Thank you. You won't regret this, Blair. Enough waiting, Blair. It's so dumb. I hate it. Agathon tries to break the door by ramming into it with his shoulder. It's flimsy and crashes in with surprisingly little effort. You and Agathon barge into the space and find yourselves at the periphery of a candle-lit ritual circle. Your eyes are drawn to the wash basin at Juno's feet. Maybe it's your imagination, but it almost feels like the water inside is emitting a wan red light of its own. Juno, you have to stop. Hand me the notes, Blair. Oh, Agathon, you're such an idiot. This is beyond you now, Blair. I'll give you one last chance. Come with me. Forget Eileen and her power games. Join me, and you can become your own man, Blair. What, Blair? Agathon seems genuinely flabbergasted at the suggestion. Who's your contact, Juno? Who are you talking to? Juno smiles at you. That's a good question. I guess Eileen Sturbridge doesn't go around trumpeting the fact that the old hierarchy doesn't hold a monopoly on Tremere power anymore, Blair. There are other forces out there, and I'll join them, Blair. Juno picks up a bulging old folder from a chair inside the ritual circle. If this dumbass has any brains, he'll join me, Blair. No, and not for the clan, but for my family. My real family. I won't betray the clan, you know that, Blair. Juno sighs. She doesn't look surprised at Agathon's refusal to come with her. It would have felt bad if I had offered you the chance, Blair. Come back to the Chantry with me, Juno. Talk to Eileen. You'll see this not a good idea, Blair. You glance at Agathon in concern. You're no sorcerer, but the idea of fighting Juno in the middle of her ritual circle doesn't feel like a good idea. 2 words. Fuck you, Blair. That was 3 words, Blair. While Juno's attention is focused on Agathon, you lunge at her. She doesn't even have time to blink before you grab the folder from her and keep speeding out the building. You don't look back, and you anxiously await Agathon's return by his car. It's only after a few minutes that he emerges from the warehouse, looking worse for wear. He nearly stumbles out, clearly in pain, and you see that his skin turned to an ashy, unhealthy colour. He looks at you with a smile nonetheless, his voice a croak. She got away. The notes, Blair? You point to the folder. Good job. You see he's beginning to recuperate from whatever happened inside, but as you take off, his driving is even more careful than usual, each move making him wince in pain. I figured celerity would work, you know, so yeah, it seemed to work. You sit in silence as Agathon drives you back to Manhattan. Traffic in the small hours is mercifully slight. You consider your next words. What happens to Juno now? Is your clan really going to let her go? Maybe, I don't know. We have the notes, that's what counts, Blair. Agathon sounds almost as if he wanted Juno to escape. Perhaps it really was about the research for him. You reach the occult bookstore. After Agathon parks the car, you head inside. You climb to the first floor and find Eileen Sturbridge waiting for you. She looks surprisingly casual for someone with such power. You have good news, I hope, Blair? Yes, we have the notes, Blair. Agathon hands over the folder. Eileen Sturbridge caresses the cover with obvious joy. Wonderful, you did not disappoint. What of Juno, Blair? We were not able to stop her. She escaped, Blair. Well, no matter. Agathon, you proved yourself yet again, and Daedalis looks like the pyramid has a good friend in you, Blair. You nod, not saying anything. Agathon looks relieved. You leave the big bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathon managed to smile. You have no idea what will happen with the notes, but you feel that you have reached an understanding with Agathon. Perhaps that's enough in this world of backstabbing and betrayal you now inhabit. Ah, well, I wonder what tomorrow will bring us. Blair.